What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of the Two Powerlifters in a Car Getting Coffee podcast. This is episode 12. I actually checked ahead of recording this time. Today we have John Cadigan. So, John, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is John. I think many of the folks who watch your videos might know me. I've been around for a few years in the local powerlifting scene for about 5 now. So train between Good Life and Reps mostly, although I was at Club U on the weekend, so I guess I've been around all the gyms in town. But yeah, so I'm a M2 lifter. I've lifted mostly in 93, but going up to 105 right now, so that's something we can talk about maybe. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.
Coming on up, feeling it. It seems like 105 is really starting to become a lot more popular of a weight class. It seems like I've heard a few 93s now.
Yeah.
There's rumors of a few 93s coming up.
Yeah, I had some decent success at 93 for sure, but the last few meets my total's been kind of stagnant a little bit, so I figured I'd give it a go to put on some bulk. I competed once as 105 in provincials 2023, and that still is my best total to date, so I said we'll give that a go and see. And like nationally, both of the totals are kind of comparable. Jeff is sort of at the top of the heap and up around 680, and then there's just around 680, 700 is also where the 105 seem to be. So why not get a little stronger myself if the top number that I'm chasing is going to be about the same, hey?
For sure.
Yeah.
I noticed, like, even in, like, the open class, 93 and 105, they just tend to be, like, close to each other anyway. I know nationally it's a bit of a gap now.
Yeah.
93 open now has the old national qualifier that 105 used to have, but you look at, like, the regional qualifiers and stuff, it's only 20 kilos of the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, when you're talking 12 kilos of body weight, in the weight class,
it can make a big difference. So anyway, all to say, that's what I just decided there about I don't know, maybe 3 months ago that's what I was going to do. So that's what we're in the process of now. So lots of food, which is fun.
Which is great for the summer.
Yeah, that's right. You lose it's great at the end of summer because you don't have to take your shirt off, and the ab is not as obvious.
But it's still nice enough to be barbecuing. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
It all works out perfect. So were you somebody who had to cut to make weight regularly for meets?
Yeah, like if I was just doing my thing and eating what I would normally eat, I'd probably walk around like I keep talking in pounds, but maybe like maybe between 94 and 95. So not a bad cut. Although at times since I've started competing, I've been as high as 96 or 97 for various reasons, like just COVID or whatever. Wasn't minding my weight so much, and it got up there. So I have had to cut, but generally don't.
And when you do, it's not a bad one. You're not.
I don't find it too bad. No, my metabolism's pretty high, so if I cut back calories, I can shed body weight. It was more trying to keep the muscle content high and just the keep the body comp where in the best possible state, right? Yeah.
I suppose before I drive too far, where do you want to go for coffee?
No, man, I'm good with just about anything. Tim's, Starbucks, Jumping Beans, all good.
We can do Jumping Bean. Jumping Bean will be a new one for the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Throw another one up on the graph that we haven't been to yet.
Yeah, Jumping Bean's got pretty good coffee.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've had it a couple times. There's one, not on my way to work now, but when I lived in Petty Harbour, there was a Jumping Bean on my way to work.
Yeah.
So I'd stop by there, scatter time.
So what's it you do, man?
IT with NL Health.
Okay, I thought that was the case. Okay, cool. Right,
yeah,
right.
So I'm based out of the building there.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. Cool. Yeah.
I cover all the smaller clinics, all the little community health clinics.
Right.
Throughout the city. So
you got some flexibility in that job?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and spend a lot of time on the road, so it's nice in that regard.
Yeah, it's all right for fitting and training too if you got a little bit of flexibility, right?
Absolutely.
Do your thing. Yeah.
The only time it's ever really affects my training is on call. And I mean, I go on call again now Friday, but
yeah, you mentioned that.
The money's too good to to pass up a week of potentially bad training. It's not even a wrote off week of training. It just has potential to be bad.
Yeah, gotcha. So what's on your horizon now? What are you getting ready for?
So I'm still waiting to hear confirmation on what the plan is for a Metro 3, if there is a Metro 3.
Yep, yeah.
Because ideally, I do Metro 3, I hit my Easterns qualifier, and then I give myself plenty of time to get ready for Easterns and just volunteer at provincials.
Yep.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, and also shooting for it at Easterns gives me another, or not Easterns, at Metro gives me another shot should something happen, should I miss it.
Yeah.
It gives me provincials as fallback.
Yeah.
But ideally, competing at the next Metro, getting my Easterns qualifier, and then volunteering for provincials.
And then, just target Easterns in 26.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be New Brunswick if I was a betting man.
I would say so. I think, what was it, 2022 was when it was in New Brunswick last?
I think so.
Yeah.
Before my time with the sport, and I know we hosted and PEI hosted.
Yeah. So we had Easterns in 2019, and that was part of Commonwealths, and I wasn't lifting at the time, actually. It was right before I started, and Erin, my daughter, was competing in Easterns. So that was here. And then 2020, nothing happened, I think, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure about that. Then 21 was Sydney. 22 was New Brunswick. 23 was PEI. 24 was here. And now 25 is Halifax.
Yeah, so that one almost leaded going back to New Brunswick.
You'd figure, hey? Yeah.
Especially with us doing provincials.
Yeah.
Not provincials, nationals.
Nationals, yeah, because we've only got a couple of folks who can host a meet of that size, right? Meet director-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That's a solid plan. What's the total that you need?
597.
Oh, right.
So with my last provincials, pretty much put me halfway between where I was in last January at the last Metro, and where I need to be. So theoretically, we were right on track.
Right on track. Yeah.
That all depends on too how my pec holds up. If we could stop dealing with constant pec injuries, it would be great.
Yeah.
Because bench isn't the biggest part of a total, but it's still hard to total 600 with a 100 bench.
Yeah, I feel you. My bench has been a bit of a problem the last couple of years. I've had some shoulder issues and nerve issues on my right side. So yeah, my bench has actually been declining the last couple of years. So that's probably one of the reasons my total's been stagnating for sure. So yeah, it is a challenge, and that's one of the things I'm working to fix now, or at least working hard to try to build that right side back up again. Yeah. And I only realized how bad it was when I started to really test not just the three main lifts, but try to see where my bicep strength was, or my deltoid strength was, and the physio that I worked with was the one to make me do that. And then I realized how out of balance I was. I was like, wow, this is really something I got to work on brushing up, or it's really never going to get better. So
yeah, it's all fun and games till you go to you feel great, and then you go to a specialist and they're like, oh, you're so messed up, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I kind of suspected my shoulder was a problem, but I just was ignoring it and kept trying to compete. So taking a long off season now myself between. So the last meet was Moose Jaw Nationals for me, and I won't compete again until Nationals here in March. So that'll be almost a full year without a meet in between. So that's and a weight class change to boot. So a few changes, but that's it gives you a bit of time to build, right? That'll suit your situation good too. I think you get a nice build up into 26 Easterns would be good.
Yeah, and I've been not going up a weight class, but just embracing weight gain, because I always walked around at around 100-ish kilos, somewhere in that area, and I think the heaviest I've ever weighed in for a competition's been 103. But ever since the last meet, ever since provincials, we decided to just focus on filling out the weight class,
Yeah.
get that bit of extra mass. So
Yeah.
sitting now regularly around like mid 107s. The goal is 108, mid 108s.
Yeah, and then come back down for meat. So, and you're a pretty tall dude too. So, like, what are you? 6'1"?
6'2".
6'2", yeah, yeah. So yeah, at least 105. I would think would be a good category for you.
Yeah, and
you'd be tall for 93.
I find as well, I'm not too worried about it because I find just naturally, I guess, between like dialing really in on nutrition and like nerves and stuff, I'm pretty good for just naturally losing a kilo or more just leading up to a meet.
Yeah.
By changing nothing.
Yeah, I hear you. That's happened to me most every meet that I've gone into, where I'm just trying to make sure I'm not over, so I can't lift. I always end up like high 91, 91.8, 92.1. I've always floated right around there. I've never sort of been right up against it, like, for the 93 class anyway, as, like 92.7 or really maxed out. And I think it's like the last 2 days, it's like that bit of weight just falls off me. And I don't feel nervous per se, but it's just maybe trying to be sure that I don't miss. You're kind of restricting your calories maybe a little bit more, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah, you're just paying that much. You don't think you're changing it, but you're just paying that much more attention to things that you wouldn't normally before.
Yeah. And the last thing you want to do like above provincials, when you get into regionals, you kind of have to make weight, right, or you're not allowed to lift. So that's because they need to have a good plan for meet day for the bigger meets, right? So it makes sense. But you don't want to be that guy, right? Blows out the other side of the weight class and can't compete after all that prep. That'd be pretty disappointing.
And then, I mean, if you're going anywhere other than like here, just getting off this island is expensive enough. You're spending enough money there just getting up there to just miss weight.
Yeah. That's one of the only few downsides of this doing this powerlifting thing as a hobby, is the travel and the meets other places can get really expensive, for sure. It's hard to do them all as much as you want to, but
you're kind of picking and choosing then.
Sometimes, it's hard to travel like 2 and 3 times in a year. I find like one a year is not too bad, and maybe a second. But traveling multiple times a year, it's just hard to find the extra cash for that. It is, right? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's like we were hoping for a Hail Mary attempt at the Easterns qualifier provincials. I'm sure you remember me talking about that. And I mean, after the squat fail, it was like, all right, well, let's just enjoy the rest of the day. But come to find out after, I'm kind of glad I didn't qualify, because my girlfriend's favorite band is on tour like a week after. And that's in Toronto. I was like, well, we wouldn't have had the money to do both. So now we can get the concert tickets. And
who's she a fan of?
21 Pilots.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we're going up there in a couple weeks to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I just griped about traveling, but I'm actually heading up to Easterns with Aaron now in a couple of weeks, and I'm not lifting. But that's one meet that we've done together a few times, and usually the one or the other is lifting. So the one who's not lifting will obviously handle the one who is. And so that's the plan for 2 weeks' time. Yeah. And I know some of the folks up there as well, like the meet directors. I know both of them. They're both good guys. Matt and Terry are good fellas.
So you said it was Aaron who actually got you into powerlifting?
Yeah. So it's kind of a funny story. So back in 2019, I'd gotten away from the gym, so I was like a gym guy. I would say not my whole life, but like from my late teens on. So I was always kicking around the gym and never had really strayed from that too far, but like not doing anything structured like powerlifting, just like kind of like gym bro split, kind of minding your diet and, just trying to get a little bit big and a little bit strong. Not even general fitness, but like that pseudo bodybuilding / trying to be strong dude type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so all that happened, then I gotten away from it for a while, and in 2019 I went to Erin's first meet. It was a heavyweights one. Rob was actually running the meet. I went to see her compete, and I was a lot smaller than I am now then, but watched the meet and I got totally fired up. I'm like, okay, I got to at least get back to the gym. Like that looks like way too much fun to step away from. And then fast forward, like late in that year, you know, she started prodding me. Well, maybe you should, you know, try it out. And I was like, I don't know, my knees are kind of achy, you know, old guy excuses, right? And yeah, and then Tom, it was kind of funny because Tom and Steph had the IBW Classic, and it was booked in, I think it was like the second week of January of 2020, and Snowmageddon landed right in the week that the meet was supposed to happen. So I was signed up for that meet, and then it got delayed, and then I started to have second thoughts, like, oh, maybe I won't bother, I don't know.
Maybe it's a sign.
Maybe it's a sign, whatever. And anyway, I ended up doing that meet at her insistence, and that was the deal. It was set then. Like, I had such a good time. That was a great first meet. It was in Rep, so it was like close by, and it was like a really good setting. It was well run, and so I had a great experience. And then it was like off to the races, you know. But then, of course, much talked about, all the COVID stuff happened, and gym time got a little bit tangly for a while. But so it was ended up being Easterns. 2021 was my second meet, and that was when they relaxed all the qualifiers just because people didn't have the chance to lift. Like the qualifying totals for Masters are not as onerous, so that part was fine, but it was just I hadn't done a provincials at that point, but it was okay. So lifted in, that was in Sydney. So that was meet 2, and then that fit into Nationals was here in 2022, so I got the QT for that, and we both lifted in Nationals 2022, the one that was here, and it was funny enough because it was Chris Tiller, who you might know. Chris has been around powerlifting here for a while, lives out in Deer Lake now, or near Deer Lake, and Larry Walsh both said, like, geez, you should put your name in for Worlds, and I was like, no. Like, there's no chance. Like, I can't make Worlds. And anyway, I put my name in, and sure enough, I managed to get a spot. So I did Worlds in 22 here in St. John's late in that year. That was in October. So that was my fourth meet. It was actually Worlds, which was kind of wild. I don't think it could happen in any other year except for throwing COVID in there. Yeah, throwing COVID in there. Yeah, so then chronologically, did that meet, and I was training with the Strength Guys app leading into Worlds, so I didn't have a coach at that point, which was it was a bit of an issue, if I'm honest. Like, I didn't quite know what to expect, and I wasn't great at predicting how strong I was going to be. Like, you know, the estimated 1RMs that an app gives you are only so good, and so I really didn't know like what my top end was, and probably I wouldn't say overshot it, but really overestimated it at the interface to Team Canada coaches. So had not a real tough day that day, but a bit of a tough day. And then I said, okay, I need a coach now. So that's when I continued with Strength Guys and got the coach that I have now. Still was Patrick Carr, he's an American guy. Excellent coach. Shout out Patrick, he's fantastic. So we've been working together since November of 22. So I got hooked up with him the month after Worlds in 2022. That was in St. John's. And then competed Provincials 23, that was as a 105. And then I competed in Easterns 24, Nationals 24, and Nationals 25. So that's all the meets I've done. And luckily enough, in 24, the one that was in Summerside, Jeff was getting ready for Masters World, so I managed to get the national title there because Jeff Butt wasn't around to kick my ass. So that was kind of nice, although it's a little bit of an asterisk, because I'm a long ways off from being able to take Jeff out even on a good day. So so that's all the meets. I think I'm up to 8 or 9 now, something like that. So whatever that all adds up to.
Sometimes you just gotta do that. You just gotta pick the battles to sometimes just avoid the people you can't outlive.
yeah, you can do some things to competitively set yourself up for success, we'll say.
I live in that constant fear of trying to figure out if Genge is going to go to 120 or not.
I think he is. I don't know if
so.
I mean, he competed at 120 at Provincials, light 120, I think, but I'm not speaking for you, Matt, but this is what I'm hearing, buddy. So, And he's thick dude, so I think he'll fill out 120 no problem.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So nationals here in next March will be fun. Should be a big contingent coming here, and it's one of the cool things is I've been lucky enough to go to a few of them, and you get to know people from all the other places, right? So you do get to see some people that you only see at the big meets, which is fun. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, anybody who's thinking about giving it a shot or get down there and volunteer, hang out and watch a few of the sessions, man. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, because you get to see people you don't even get to see at the regional level just because they live in somewhere like Toronto or Alberta, somewhere that it doesn't make sense for them to go to Easterns.
Yeah, that's right.
When they could go to Centrals or Westerns.
Yeah, that's right. So, and it's a lot of fun, and so I'm really looking forward to that one. That one's going to be a blast. Looking to add to the total for there, albeit in a new weight class.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Getting ready. I'm gonna throw in a couple days off of work to come down and volunteer. Obviously, won't be able to volunteer for
during the work days. It's gonna
for as much as
tough.
I want to, but if I'm thinking like sessions that like I would have wanted to go watch anyway. I'm probably gonna throw my name in to like request a day off and then just spot and load if I can.
Yeah, which I love doing for sure. So I'm with you there. I'll probably do a fair bit of that at nationals, but because I saw the tentative schedule, so it's they've got prime time sessions now for all the open men and women. So you know most of those people will be able to catch, and it's like the masters and the juniors and the sub juniors and stuff will be during the day. Which, as much as I'm into the masters, because it's where I compete. You're going to get more people out watching the opens for sure. That's where the bigger weights are getting heaved around. So they'll be in the evening times, I think, right now is what it looks like. So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Get more people down to the Sheraton and hopefully be loud and rowdy.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. The last time I was there it was when Lucas got his lift for Worlds. It was at Easterns.
Yeah, I remember that
Easterns. Session. Yeah, the place was on wheels.
It was a crazy session to watch.
Yeah, it was, and generally speaking, it was well attended. I mean, that was probably the highlight of it for a lot of people, myself included. Even though I did compete, that was pretty cool to see him take that. So, it was just an impressive day all around by him. He's certainly made some strides since then. So.
I remember leaving that meet with a sore throat just from that last session at deadlift, just
screaming. Screaming. I was stood next to Aaron and I said, I actually got like a little lightheaded. I was screaming so much on his last pull, or his next to last pull, which is when he secured the win.
That's the fun part. That's the fun part of meets too. Is you can always hear the two of you. You can always hear you and Aaron at a meet. Now, granted, I can usually hear you well at a meet because for almost all of my meets, you've been stood behind me screaming.
Yes. That's what I love. Love spotting and load, especially provincials is a lot of fun. I've done that the last couple of years, and I'll try to do that as much as I can now, because everybody pretty much, and everybody's out there shooting for something. And so it's nice being behind people that and helping them in so much as you can, right? You can't lift the weight for them, obviously, but if you're there behind them and in the rear, hopefully people find it helpful because I love doing it for sure.
Yeah, that was like the thing I noticed at this provincials. It felt so different, walking out on the platform because it's just like. Yeah, normally you walk out on the platform, you know all these people and you know what they're going for. But like I walked out and it's like I regularly lift with all these people because it was you, it was John Mercer, it was Trev, it was like it was strange walking out. I was like, is this just a regular lift in the gym?
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, it's something to be said for that, to be honest. Like if you're out there, just that little bit of comfort, your head's a little clearer, so you're gonna be on point with your, all the technical aspects of the lift and all that. So, and you come out with a little bit of fire too, man, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get fired up, which is cool.
I'm not afraid of yelling as I walk out onto a platform.
Yeah, I've been known as well. To varying degrees depending on the meet. I've find sometimes I can get myself a little too wound up, and sometimes my technique gets a little suspect as I'm not as focused as I could be, just because there's that much adrenaline running through my brain that it's on blink. But it's a good way to let that out of you if that's what's in you. You know, let a few yelps out and lift some heavy weight.
Absolutely.
It feels pretty good. Yeah. A couple times I've actually gotten I can remember really clearly, actually. It was at Easterns 24, my second attempt, which I think it was 242, I think. I got it, and it was like I could feel like that cold rush of adrenaline after that lift, and oh, geez, if you could bottle that, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, whoa, okay. Fortunately, I missed my next lift, but I went to try to take Jeff's record on him, and got an up down on the bar. So, and Jeff's upped that record a couple times since, so I don't think I would have kept it for very long. But yeah.
He's a madman too. He'll break a record in the morning equipped, and then turn around that afternoon and break another record.
Yeah. It's just very, very experienced and very technically sound lifter who's also very friggin' strong. So yeah. I was on the warm-up platform with him in Moose Jaw, and just watching him prepare, and that, like, recognizing he was a competitor, but I wasn't gonna catch him that day. So yeah, it's pretty methodical and pretty detailed prep. So it was cool. I learned from that for sure. But yeah, he set a couple, I think 3 or 4 records that day. He had deadlift, he had squat, and he had total, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So 3. But but that was that lift in that attempt in 2024 Easterns. Yeah, I got the big adrenaline rush before and after that one, so that was pretty cool. And it definitely does help. But other people come out, man, and they're just like real stoic, real calm. You know, everything moves really slow.
That's the ones that are impressive.
I know. I couldn't do it. If I slow down, man, I'm finished. Like, I need to move everything as explosively as I can.
Yeah, I'm very much the same when it comes to, especially deadlifting. Just walk out, yell, grab it, and...
Yeah, and you're a conventional puller too, right?
Yeah.
Sumo's a little more technical. I think sometimes it takes a little more patience on that, using that style, for sure. But yeah, I'm conventional, so I just try to get it moving off the floor as fast as possible, and usually that involves a lot of yelling.
Yeah, I had my little stint with sumo, but I had a knee injury, not related to sumo, but just because of the knee injury I had, it was putting more pressure on that knee when I tried to deadlift. Yeah. And it was just extra pain, and I was like, well, this is really messing with my deadlift. And Steph Fowler actually looked at me and she said, just try switching back just so you're getting
some volume in, or
getting at least some movement and stuff in. Yeah. And I had previously, prior to that, like, been a conventional puller. Like, I've never pulled sumo on a platform.
Yeah.
It was between one provincials and the next metro. I just kind of wanted to experiment with it.
Yeah.
And it never went anywhere. Because when I switched back to conventional, due to that knee injury, I was like, there's just so much more power here. And I had stopped doing it because I had some, like, injuries. Not injuries, but I was finding just some discomfort and some pain with lifting. But then me and TK, we just spent like a couple weeks of just every single rep we changed something.
Just tweaked a little something just to see.
Until we finally got it. Once we got everything like locked in and everything clicking, it was like, okay, conventional's where I need to pull.
Yeah. And you wouldn't do better than having Tom coach you on sumo for sure. I mean, he knows that very well for himself, and he can coach it well also. So, Yeah, but conventional is the best style for some people. I think so for me. I did a little bit of sumo, maybe, I want to say in late 2019. And I used to get a little bit of pain on the inside of my knees, like trying to sort of wedge into the bar. I don't know if it was because my technique was no good, which was highly likely, I would say. But it was, didn't feel like it was for me. So I'm pretty much conventional to stay now, unless something prevented me from doing it and I had to switch just to be able to keep lifting. But
the other thing I was finding with sumo, and I think it's just because of my height and like the way I was setting up, I was getting a little scared for my toes towards the end because like I'm
yeah, you got long legs and,
for me to get down, I'm very, very close to the plates.
Yeah.
And then obviously once you pull the weight off the ground, your body weight's shifting, your center mass is shifting, your feet tend to slide out.
Slide a little tiny bit, or even pivot almost. Yeah.
There was a couple times I didn't get my foot, but like anyone who knows like a notorious lift, deadlift shoe, like that slight bit of rubber on the side.
Oh, you caught the rubber?
Caught the rubber a couple times. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's a little harrowing. Yeah, you don't want to be a 9-toed dude, right?
Yeah.
Take out the pinky toe. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, I switched back to conventional, and I'm conventional now to stay.
Yeah, and you pulled at Lucas's fundraiser. You pulled 550.
Pulled 550.
I thought so. Yeah. And is that a PR for you? Like a gym PR? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gym PR.
Yeah. It looked good too.
Before that, I pulled 242, which was just the way the bar ended up being loaded. We took 10 kilo jumps, and it just ended up falling on a 2, which worked out perfect because I had hit 240 at provincials.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to take the chance and try 242 now to keep it going.
Yeah.
Just see where it goes. 242 moved. And I was the only people left on the bar, I think, at that point were me and Burry and Chris.
Yeah.
So they looked over and they're
three
like,
big boys.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, I gotta go for at least another one if still the two of them lifting. So Will looked at me and he goes, what do you want? And he's like, because you're gonna make a smaller jump than either of those two are.
Yeah.
It's like, give me 250.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. It's nice to be able to test like that. I don't often, just because the programming style from Strength Guys, I don't often get the chance to test. We do AMRAPs or bar speed, typically. So yeah, it's usually like in the last few weeks of meet prep, I'll get to check out where I'm at, which is, we'll do. I mean, as a rough guess from memory, I think we'll do like openers, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 times. Probably do your seconds 2 to 3 times. Never do your thirds. So your third attempt is weight you haven't attempted before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So don't often max out. And I like the karma of sticking to program. And I'm not just saying that because my coach might see this, but I just feel like the process is what it is, and I'm a pretty process-oriented dude, so I'll stick with it. Yeah, lots of volume is the programming style for Strength Guys. It's notoriously that way, I think.
I think it's really funny with us is we end up going off program like fairly frequently, but it's not really off program if. Is it really off program if you're training with your coach and he says, you know what, try this?
Yeah, exactly. So by definition, no, it is not.
No.
So that's not off program.
He just didn't update the sheet.
Yeah. And and it's like, that's coming from a place of like knowing what he's looking at too, and all that. And like that's one of the advantages that you guys have that I don't, is that I've never actually trained in the same room with my coach, which is that's common. A lot of people have programming coaches and whatnot, and he looks at all my video and all that, but we've never actually trained together. Maybe someday, but yeah, so you don't get those opportunities in the same way.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've been grateful for like having, and like even when I was with Chris getting like the scatter sessions out to Club U, like the amount of information, especially as like a new power lifter, the amount of information you could get from training just in person with your coach is unmatched. Yeah.
I would say though, like the one thing that I totally agree with what you said, by the way. I don't mean to take away from that at all, but the best tool that's helped me is using the video and like I'll video from my main lifts, not any of the rest of the stuff, but from my main lifts, I'll video and I'll pretty much review them almost always immediately after, and just look and see if there's something looks off or needs to be tweaked. And over time, I think that's been, I'm not saying my technique's perfect by any stretch, definitely not, but it's improved as much as it has because of that. I think, because, even with your coach sending videos once a week, I mean, you can get some feedback for sure, and I do, but it's like, that's just so valuable to be able to, like, know what you're feeling, see what it looks like in the video, tweak based on that. I find that's a really, really quick feedback loop, so that helps the improvement, like, a heck of a lot. So, yeah, that's a huge tool. For as much as I don't really post much on Insta, I do take a lot of video and use that pretty frequently, for sure.
And I think to go along with that, something that's often a trap that a lot of like newer lifters probably find themselves in is when you're setting up to record, focusing too much on an angle that looks good.
Yeah.
Like posting like the front on squat angles or like the 3/4 deadlifts versus the amount of information you can get from recording your squat from the side.
Yeah.
Or recording your deadlift from the side or your bench from the side.
Yeah. I'm set up on side angle for most all mine whenever I can. That tends to be the most. Sometimes for bench, for me, where it's been a little bit squirrely for quite a while now, every now and then a front angle would be helpful because, like, I do have an imbalance between both sides, like, just to see, if the bar's helicoptered at all on me, or, if my arms, if it's coming up uneven, which you really can't pick up, if you're looking at the side, right, you can't see if the bar is slightly off kilter or not.
Yeah, getting that head judge angle on bench is nice as well.
Yeah, so, and, if it's an issue for you, you can, obviously you can check your elbow depth as well, but it's not an issue for me. Not that I've got super long arms, but they're long enough. And I grip pinky to the ring too. And ever since my shoulder got funky, that seems to be the strongest position for me, so I got no trouble getting my elbows deep enough. Don't suspect you do either, right?
No, my bench ROM is so long.
Yeah.
You can almost do 2 reps in the amount of time it takes me to just get it off my chest.
Yeah. Did you get to see, besides Lucas's session, see any of the World Games stuff?
I didn't know.
No.
Because the times fell so weird. Like, I watched clips and stuff since, but where the times fell so weird, like, I had to set my alarm and stuff just to be up for Lucas's.
Yeah, one of the Italian women lifters, Bernardi, bombed out on elbow depth. And, in true fashion, Instagram came back right away with all the clips showing each rep and where they were at, and other people who had, got all whites, and she got all reds for all 3. And, elbow depth for some lifters is a real problem. It seemed like she got a bit of a raw deal there. But
if there's one thing constant in life, it's that IPF judges will never make up their mind on elbow depth.
It seems like they make up their mind about a lifter's form, and then it's hard to shake that judge from that opinion in that session. I don't know if that's true or not, but so I remember watching it was at Worlds, actually, the French lifter Coco Clement bombed out on squats, and it's like, but when he came out for the third, I was like, there's no way he's getting this. Like, I just don't think they're going to give him his third squat no matter what happens. And sure enough, like, I mean, his setup and how he bar's really low on his back and his depth's a bit funky, and he had a lot you could probably pick on, in fairness, but it was like, it just seemed like there was no way they were going to give him all reds, or excuse me, all whites on a squat. Yeah, he ended up I think he had the rainbow on his third attempt. He had a couple of different colors even on the reds, so
it's that was a controversial call for sure, the whole elbow thing.
Yeah, it seems to be.
That was just as I was getting into the sport. That whole ruling was exploding.
Yeah, you can see, you still see occasionally someone will post a lift like that where they've got like sort of this hypermobile spine, and they can, their ROM is like pretty much non-existent. Like, yeah, that doesn't look like a proper lift. I can get what they were driving at, but it's so hard to judge objectively. And there's nothing like a subjective rule to cause controversy and an uproar in the community, which I think the bench depth rule definitely has. You know, squat depth has too in some meets, right, where the standard has been really, really tough to make. Mostly at the world level, I would say.
Yeah, it seems like Worlds is always all over the place with what they consider.
Even session to session sometimes too. It's like, yeah. But you know, that's it. When you got people judging stuff, it's inevitably it's going to be pretty subjective. So you kind of got to live with that. You know, I don't know if I always meet that standard, but like making your lifts undeniable is the way to overcome that if you're in the situation. But yeah, I've struggled with squat depth at times for sure, and still do occasionally. So yeah, there but for the grace of God go I.
And the only other issue, like, it's something, especially when it comes to like squat depth or even bench depth, it's like, it's almost impossible to fully like regulate, because it's like you said, it's gonna come down to eventually just human error and just perception and.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and you look too like at certain body types versus like, you know, sort of as you get into the larger weight classes, like squat depth, like on some supers, and even like, you know, like Russ Orhe and Gavin Aiden, like those guys with the big lower bodies, like it's hard to tell, and those guys both struggled, and you know, perhaps their depth could be better, but it's like it is really hard to tell. There's just so much beef down there, you know.
Yeah, there's just so much
quads and their hips and glutes. It's like, where the heck is that hip crease? Who knows? And especially if they move the bar quickly too, which I know Gavin Aiden definitely does, and he's had real struggles with the squat depth over his.
There's also
time,
just
right?
when it comes to people like that, there's just so much mass that sometimes it's like you can't get much lower, because if you get any lower, like your quad is on, or your glute and your hamstring are on your calf. Like,
I saw this thing yesterday. Actually, I didn't see it. I heard it on a podcast I was listening to, and it was, you know, if we got the elbow, so there's elbow depth, right? Is like a thing now. So what if you can achieve elbow depth without actually even touching your chest? Should that be okay? So you effectively do, like long-armed folks should be able to do a spoto press. Anyway, it was just...
Yeah,
it was
your
just,
elbows go below.
Yeah, it was just like, not barroom debate because it was a podcast, but you know what I mean. It was just for the sake of the argument, but it was interesting. Because, you know, a lot of long-armed folks reach bench depth and they're probably, you know, an inch or two off their chest, so... but they were saying, like, yeah, squat depth is something you'll never get away from.
Yeah, so are we gonna bring board press then into competition?
Yeah.
Because my bench will shoot up if I can bench to a board.
yeah.
Just because, again,
I think we'd all benefit.
I'm well past depth by the time I hit my chest.
Yeah. I'd imagine. I work hard to get like a half decent arch, and I do, like, it's okay actually. Like, it's pretty decent. And if I was like flat back, I would find it a lot harder. Yeah, a lot harder for sure. You just be even more in that sort of fully extended position, like way down low. Yeah, and I just don't have the pressing power right now to be able to react from that position. So I'm trying to keep that chest nice and high.
So speaking of IPF and their rulings, what are your thoughts? Because I don't think I've even had a chance to talk to you since the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
The whole knee sleeve.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one. Okay. Because I noticed you're squatting in inserts now.
I've switched over to inserts. Since they've been unbanned, so, I took my chances about inserts.
Yeah, man. So, interesting. I was... so, I've started squatting in inserts in early 2023 when they... I don't know when they got approved, but it was like, it wasn't far away from that. It was maybe like at most a year before that in 2022, something like that. And I was hearing that they were good, and I mean, I'm not an ancient, but I'm not a young guy either, so my knees sometimes get a bit creaky. So the idea of having something more supportive, I was all about it. So I got a pair and absolutely loved them. And this was I'll say the vintage that was on the go at that time. I still have them at home. And anyway, so loved them, and that's what I squatted right up until the ban. And then I was sort of like, oh, what do I do now? So like Nationals 25, they were still allowed. And I think it was actually, geez, it might be today, isn't it? August 26th was going to be the last day that they were allowed.
I think so.
So they would, like, as per the ruling that ended up coming around, that today would be the last day that they were allowed to be used. But so I used them, and then all of a sudden they're banned, and I was like, what the, gee. It pissed me off, actually, because I was like, I was kind of used to them, and I really liked them, and probably even my knees were somewhat reliant on them at that point. So I went back to non-stiff sleeves. I just said, well, I'm going to have to tear the Band-Aid off at some point, so I'm going to go back. And it was terrible. Like, I felt awful at first. Like, my knees, I was really tentative, and my knees didn't feel super, and all that. And then just as I was getting used to the non-stiff sleeves, I was squatting in the SPD powerlifting sleeves. Then the band gets rescinded, and it looks like they're, maybe they'll be around for forever. Who knows? But and I talked to my coach Patrick. I'm like, what do you think I should do?
What do we do?
What do I even do here? Because I don't want to use equipment that I'm not going to be able to use in the long haul, because I'm going to be doing this for a long time. Hopefully.
Overall, get used to
what I can use, and not be training with something that's not allowed in competition. And we landed on we'll definitely continue to use them, because they'll be around at least for another year, and maybe longer. So back in them now, and loving it, by the way. So hate the band, love stiff sleeves.
I quickly learned putting the Inzers on.
Yeah.
Anyone that looks at you and says, "Oh, you don't get that much of a performance boost from stiff sleeves," is lying.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's a placebo effect, but I put those on and I was like, I could squat anything.
Yeah, and actually, you and I have trained together a bunch of times, and I could see for sure for you, like, you get into your knees in your squat too, right? So yeah. I can see that you would definitely feel a lot better. And sometimes it's just a mental thing, right? You feel more secure, so you're more confident. You're just handling the weight better. Like, the worst thing you can do when you got heavy weight on your back is be tentative, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're not feeling great, like either your knees, you don't feel like your knee sleeves are doing the trick or whatever, that's going to lead to you being tentative, which is probably going to impact how well you're going to move that weight, for sure. I feel like. So, you definitely get, something out of them. 5 kilos, 7 maybe.
It's not what people say. We're like,
you're not getting even 15, 10 or 15. It'd be a lot for me. I couldn't buy that, but they do feel secure, and they do feel different, for sure. Yeah. But most of the world records, one of the things I heard are set in the SPD powerlifting sleeves. So are they actually that good? Who knows?
It's funny, because that's what Lucas was saying.
Yeah. Because he switched, because he went and he got sponsored, right? Mm-hmm. He switched, right?
So he was, and at the time when the ban happened, I was still I had only ever wore SBDs.
Yeah.
So when a bunch of people in the room were thrown off by it, I was like, oh well, me and Lucas are fine.
Yeah.
And then the ban got rescinded, and one of my friends from college was getting out of powerlifting, and he was selling off a bunch of gear, and he shot me a message.
Nice.
You want to buy a pair of Inzers? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Do I? Is buying a pair of Inzers a good idea?
Yeah, I noticed that. I saw one of your posts, and I was like, oh, my man's in Inzers.
Yeah.
Brother. Yeah. And so I'm back in him, and you're in him. That's cool.
And speaking of stiff sleeves, John went out and bought a pair of rigor mortises.
Yeah, okay. I saw John on Saturday, actually. He was just finishing squats, so I didn't even see when I got there, and I didn't even see what sleeves he had or what he was wearing.
I think he's still in his SBDs now. I don't think he's going to bother with the rigor mortis between now and Easterns. I think they're more so after Easterns to train into nationals.
Yeah. And it does take a little bit of getting used to,
especially if they're brand new.
Yeah, mine were I'd used them before, and so they were somewhat broken in. Still pretty stiff, of course, but it took me a couple of workouts to get used to wearing them again. And I squat on Saturday, and I felt great, and the sleeves felt fantastic. There was no doubt in my mind what I'd prefer if I had the option. But yeah.
Speaking of, though, and again, just continuing on with the topic of IPF rules, if you could change an IPF rule, what would you change?
Ooh, heck, that's a good question. What would I change? I would say I would go for bench depth as much as it doesn't affect me. I've seen a lot of meets where it's kind of, they've got some of the smaller women's weight classes have got turned upside down by that rule, which I think feels like that's not the intent of it. So I would say that one. And I know it's not one rule, but sometimes I saw Carlina squat at the World Games. I watched her session, and she couldn't get the start command because she squats pretty low bar and she's kind of hunched. I mean, that's not complaining about one rule, but she's been, obviously she's world champion, great lifter. It's but the lady wouldn't give her the squat command. That was frustrating. I don't like seeing that.
Hello, can I get for you?
Hi, can I get a medium and a large iced coffee, please?
Medium and a large. Anything else?
That's everything.
And would you like anything in that?
No.
Not for me.
Just black?
Actually, I'll get 2 milk in the medium one.
2 milk in the medium?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's everything.
Thank you for the 1253. Grab you whenever you're ready there.
So what about you, man? What's your rule that makes you crazy?
I think, and again, it's not as much of a rule. Hold on, I'll pay first.
Yeah. Sure.
I think mine, it's not as much of a rule. I don't believe that juries should be able to overturn a good lift.
Yeah. The juries. It's an interesting one, and maybe I think less so a rule that makes me crazy, but I think at the world level, at local meets and even regionals in countries, it might be hard to do, but they need to use technology better, man. Get better camera angles, use them. They didn't have replay at World Games. I've been at meets where they haven't had replay and there's been a jury. So it's kind of hard for the jury to say.
That's what Lucas was saying. There's no other camera angle. The jury, the only angle the jury had is where they were. So what is the jury really doing at that?
Yeah.
If you were sat on my front right side and my left judge calls depth, how are you going to argue it?
Yeah, how do you know? And I mean,
This visa.
awesome.
There you go. Perfect.
And here's your sponsor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice
Thank you.
Alright, I'm going to quickly switch the battery on the camera too, because that's about the...
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
It's the first time I've ever been able to catch it ahead of time.
Brief interlude.
Yeah, it didn't take me very many episodes to realize how good of an idea it was to keep the extra batteries up front.
Yeah, so you don't have to stop crawling to the back.
Yeah.
Root through a knapsack.
Find them and then...
Yeah. But, so that really, I don't know when that's started, because, I mean, I've been around for a little while, but, not, forever, like some folks. And when the idea of the juries becoming active, in the sense that they take a 2-to-1 lift and actively say no good, you know what I mean? As opposed to hearing somebody's pleas for leniency on a 2 reds, but I don't know. It's good that there should be a good, consistent, and high standard for things like world championships, world records. You don't want it to have an asterisk. If you're a lifter and somebody said, yeah, they got that lift, but it was high, and it was always, the talk was that it was high, that's no good. So I do see the reason for it, but sometimes it does feel like a jury in a specific session at the world level for sure can be a little activist. You know what I mean? Like they're sort of intervening more than is reasonable. But
I think back to what you said about. I think there's a lot of things that could definitely be changed with jury.
yeah,
But it goes, and some of my gripes I think can be solved with back to what you said about like more use of technology.
yeah,
Is I feel like if you have one person on the jury who, especially at like your local meets or even your regional meets, who's like well known, been around for years, like if that one person on the jury says, I don't think that was good, how many other people are saying, I don't think that was good,
yeah.
purely
Not
because...
gonna argue with that person. Yeah.
Versus if you even just had like a button
Yeah.
where you just clicked yes or no.
Yeah, and I guess it depends too, right, on the size of the jury. Like if it's 3 people, it has to be unanimous, and if it's 5, it's just got to be a majority. So like the dynamic changes a little bit there because you can have people who don't agree, but the majority carries the day. It's never affected me in any of the meets I've been in. I know in Summerside about a year ago, I had a rough day squatting. I had two or three lifts called on depth, and one was pretty close, I think, and Aaron went to the jury and we had no joy. It is what it is. I needed to squat lower. Simple as that. But at the same time, when you see it at a really high level meet, I guess nationals could be considered that, but you see it in the world meets and it sort of changes the whole complexion of the meet and the competition and whatnot. I find it a bit rough, but I feel like better cameras to catch that hip crease, because the spotters are all huddled around, so sometimes you don't get a great view. So even if they did have a side view camera, sometimes their view's obscured. But there's got to be a way to get like a camera, maybe in the rack or something. I don't know. At the world level, I'm sure they can make something happen.
Yeah, like there's got to be some way.
There's some technology that could work there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that would be good to see anyway. Give something a try. Not to make the calls for the refs, but to help in the case where stuff's close and make sure that the right call's made.
Yeah.
You don't get the Monday morning, oh, they were robbed, or
dealing with all the backlash of it online. I see that.
Yeah. But it seems like, and I hope nobody at the IPF is a big fan of this show, but it seems like the IPF's recovering from being in a bit of a mess now anyway, so they probably have bigger things to worry about, if I'm honest. All the stuff with the president and all the affiliates, and it seems like it's something that's well due for some improvement at the international level for sure. Yeah, something that's pretty concerning, if I'm honest.
I know a lot of people going to Easterns. I know a couple people going to Easterns where they were like worried they were gonna have to like revoke their flights or refigure stuff out because of
getting a bit hairy, wasn't it?
Because of the strike. Well, look at Lucas.
Yeah. 36 hours in Chengdu Airport. I guess that was probably a pretty big airport, but at the same time, heck, that's a long time.
It's the last place I want to be at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah. At least if you're traveling for 36 hours, that's one thing. When you're absolutely stationary, but not in a hotel or something for 36 hours, that's motley. But worth it for the experience, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd say the same thing, but
It all comes back to, like you said, it's just one of the gripes of competing is traveling. And again, the issue of being stuck on an island doesn't make it much better.
No. It's that's definitely a thing. And the same locations seem to be popping up too, so sometimes it's kind of nice to get to go to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
Summerside is I've been a couple of times now. Probably will be back again, which is fine. Like I said, I don't mind it there, but it'd be nice to get to meet in Ottawa or meet in Toronto or maybe even in Alberta somewhere. It'd be nice to see some more of those pop up.
Yeah,
and maybe we will.
For people on the East Coast to compete in the East Coast, it's kind of like, I've seen all these places.
Yeah,
I've been to these places for Easterns.
Yeah, it's nice to travel somewhere different every now and then, but So just getting back to gear. So you got the new belt now, SPD.
New belt, new sleeves.
Cool. So you're
just need to get new shoes now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been rocking the same inner strength ascends ever since I started powerlifting.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the shoes. However, the notorious lift Ronins just look amazing.
Yeah.
That white...
There is a style element to that for sure.
That black or the
Yeah.
white with the gold heel.
Yeah. I've got a pair of tier L1s when they first came out. I actually had Romaleos that were given to me, and they were a little tiny bit big, but they were fine, and did the trick. And my gear got stolen out of my car at work, like all of it, like A7 bag, shoes, belt. You know, I had a bag with like clothes and shower gear and stuff in it, so it all went, and that's what I ended up getting when I replaced it, which I don't recommend, by the way. It's actually freaking expensive to go out and buy all that in one shot. But I ended up getting an A7 belt, which I really like. It's a little more pliable than the SBD, which I like.
I think it's probably more similar to mine, because when I bought my SBD, I went out and I bought the 10 mil
You got
SBD.
the 10? Oh, I should try yours on.
They're probably a very similar belt.
Yeah, because I got a 10 millimeter A7 and it's pretty pliable. I find the hollow of my back on an SBD is like totally unsupported. For whatever way my back is shaped, it doesn't seem to fit right. But people swear by them. I mean, the SBD gear is like top notch, there's no doubt. But yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to not give that money to SBD as well.
They're a bit of a monopoly, but yeah. I mean,
it got really scary about them being a monopoly for a little bit there with the knee sleeves.
Yeah. I think they probably would have preferred to not tell their sponsored athletes to promo their support codes right as that happened. That was probably a bit of a misstep. But yeah, I mean, Ryan and Ray are super people and run that business, and they're sort of affiliated with SBD. But so no shade on them at all. But
no, it comes from levels much higher than them.
I would imagine. Yeah. So it's a bit tough. I tend to stick to the A7 stuff. I just like the I like the look of it a little bit more, and definitely the belt was a good choice for me. I don't think I'd change that now anytime soon at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't have a reason for getting the 10 millimeter. I was just I was making a big change in the belt anyway, so I was like, all right, well, it's just as well to try it.
Yeah, it'll be good. One good thing is I would imagine that there'll be a couple of booths when Nationals are here in March. Usually you can try on and try out a few things a little more easily, right? When you're right there.
That's what I'm hoping.
Buying stuff online is always a bit hit and miss, right? If it's going to fit properly and all
A7,
that.
you get hit hard then with duties and tariffs and everything. So it'd be nice if A7 was here to actually be able to buy some A7 gear in person. Yeah,
they were at Summerside Nationals in September 24. But they weren't in Moose Jaw, which makes sense. I mean, Inner Strength was right across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Which was cool, too. I went over there and did a bunch of shopping with her. But, yeah.
So back to the whole you and Aaron lifting thing. How is that dynamic, just as, like, a parent-daughter thing?
Yeah, it's at first, and I'm not hesitating because it's an awkward question at all, but like at first I've been accused of Papa Bear taking away like a bench because it slowed down, like being a bit protective. Not so much anymore. So right now, I mean, it's funny, we joke about it because like we yell at one another and swear and get each other fired up and all that. So it's like probably not a typical dad-daughter situation. And we laugh about it. I mean, one of the best stories is at 23 provincials. We were getting down to we were in deadlifts, and I was pretty fired up. And we had it figured out. So the way it was going to go was bars loaded. I was going to take sniff of ammonia, and she was going to give me 2 slaps on the shoulder. So the first 2 attempts go absolutely as planned. And third attempt comes around, and actually Greg Pike and I, shout out to Greg, were pretty tight for best lifter for Masters. So I wanted to make the lift, and Aaron didn't tell me if I needed it or not. So anyway, and it was a PR. It was 250.5 or something. Something like that. Anyway, I can't even remember the number. Funny enough, but so the bar's loaded, and I'm breathing heavy, just roaring and bawling, and so I take a sniff of the ammonia. She smacks me 2 times on the back, and then as I'm walking away, she hits me a 3rd time. So she gives me a little extra pop as I'm leaving. I was like, whoa! Yeah, that must have been for something I did when you were 6. So anyway, needless to say, we laugh about it now. So it's like it's more like we're lifting friends and lifting like a parent and a daughter at that stage, to be totally honest. And that happens too when your kids, like for me, both kids are older. So I think that's more how I approach parenting at the age that my girls are at. So it's, so it's not awkward at all. And it's good too to have someone who's that close to you who can say like, come on, pick it up now. Like sometimes you don't know somebody so well and they're handling you and they say something like that. It might piss you off, right? Which could help, I suppose. In powerlifting.
It pays to be close with your handlers and with like people that are there lifting with you.
Yeah, it definitely. Well, if there's a trust level there, you know they're gonna make good calls for you, and you know what their ability is too, right? You know, whether it's your friends or in my case, my daughter, like. I know she can look at me and give me good advice on what she thinks should come next. Like if it's a 5-10 jump, or that looked slow, or that actually looked a lot faster than you're telling me it went. So, yeah, you can trust their judgment a little bit more too. I mean, then you get for handlers, you get folks like Jeff, or like maybe Garrett Bentley at the national level too. Those guys can they just got this eye for it because they've been doing it for so long.
Know.
They've been doing it for so long, but. Yeah, if it's someone you know really well, that definitely is a big help for sure. But it's cool, man. Like a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do something that they love doing with their kid who also loves doing the same thing. So yeah, really pretty grateful for that actually. Like that was not by plan. It just kind of happened that way, which is cool. And we don't get to train as often together as we used to. But we did Saturday pass because she's getting down to it now in her meet prep. But we can still will do that and continue to do that, and we'll travel for. I mean, she came back. She couldn't handle me at Worlds, but I mean, she flew back. She was in Halifax for school, and flew back for my meet at Worlds and all that. So we'll be around. If one of us is lifting, there's a pretty damn good chance the other one's not going to be far. Yeah, that's just the way it's going to be. So it's a pretty cool thing.
I think it's
but we are loud.
Absolutely.
We've been given that feedback by people. Some smiling, some less so. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like being at that Easterns actually in 2023 or 24, whatever the Easterns was at the Sheridan.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah. It was. See, I'm the opposite. Like it makes me smile because like when you were coming out. Just hearing Erin screaming, I was like, yeah, come on. That's what she says.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Now when she's in my face before we come out, she says she's not as polite as that. I can assure you. But there's actually a really funny video from the live stream of her. It's at Easterns in 2021, so this is only my second meet, and you can see. Me and it's like just behind the curtain, and you can see 2 of us are walking back and forth, and she's like pointing. You can see she's giving it to me. It's like pretty funny. You can't hear it, but you can tell like she's like, you get out there and you move that blinkety blink weight.
Sometimes that's just what you need too.
Yeah.
You need people to like get you angry, just
to get fired up. Yeah.
Like I love that relationship that like Dryden and Lucas have with each other in training because it's constantly that like chirping each other and like the constant shit talking and like you just need that. I'm somebody who very much like needs that, not necessarily that degree, but I need something. Like I don't need like a like do your best. Like I need a go out there and lift that shit.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like when actually back to provincials, when I, not bombed, but when I lost that last squat,
Yeah.
I went to use the bathroom before I took my knee sleeves and stuff off, or just after I took my knee sleeves, I don't remember what the time was. And Mom stopped me, like, on the way, and it was like, my girlfriend actually tried to stop my mom before she got to me, because she knew where she was going to go, like, the mom side of things, but my girlfriend was like, that's not what he needs
He doesn't need right now, yeah.
So Mom was like, no, are you okay? Like, what happened? Yada, yada, yada. And then, like, right after, I was back there. After bench, actually, I was back just in the warm-up room, like, just kind of in the zone and listening to music. And Liv managed to just sneak her way in through. And it was a complete opposite conversation.
Yeah.
Because it was like, she came up and she, like, took my headphones off me and was like, listen.
Yeah.
Go out there and make this shit move.
Yeah. Keep going. It's funny because I was thinking about that the other day, that it's like there's a few skills that you can only kind of get after a few meets, like and a good few meets, I would say, for me, like, and one of them is like bouncing back after a miss lift and not dwelling on it, right, and not letting it like take the fire out of your belly or like make you last 2024 nationals definitely taught me that, with only 1 for 3 on squats, which is my best lift. Came back and went 6 for 6. So I took that was good. Like, as much as I was disappointed with that result. So like bouncing back from a bad lift, and like also knowing, like, when you're getting near your top end, like knowing what you have. Like sometimes that's hard to know. Like some people are like really hopeful and they say, well, maybe I got 10 more kilograms, and they don't have it, so you miss. Or you're more conservative type of person. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I had 2.5, but maybe you had 5 or 7. And just knowing and being able to pick that so you get just the right attempt, a handler will help you. But like knowing in your head, like that takes, I'm getting better at it, but I don't find that always so easy, like to know exactly where I should be. And sometimes it's like you're talking only 2 or 2.5 or 5 kilos in the difference, but you don't want to tip over, and you're trying to make the best decision with your handler that you can in a short amount of time. But those are 2 skills that are really, you can only develop in a meet. You can't figure it out in the gym, I don't think, or anything like that. Like just bouncing back from a missed lift, especially if it's a bad miss, like one you could have prevented. And and knowing where you're at on any given day for one of your 3 lifts is like, you need practice for that. And the more meets you get, the better you can get at it. For sure.
I know I've spoken on it in a couple different episodes of the podcast now, but that's one thing I found at provincials. I almost found the opposite. It was missing that squat was like a weight off my chest.
Oh, really?
Because it was like, all right, well,
oh, yeah,
I needed that for Easterns.
Yeah, you knew you were up against it then, so
I
it
didn't
took
get
some pressure off.
So it's like, well, I didn't get it. All right, that just means that's less pressure on me now.
Yeah.
I could just enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And then I went out and I went.
Yeah.
Ended up going 8 for 9.
Yeah.
First ever 8 for 9. First time not going 9 for 9 at a meet.
Really, I've never done 9 for 9. I've missed something in every meet. I've done 8 for 9 a couple times now, but I've never.
See, I'm okay with the 9 for 9 or 8 for 9 though, because like sometimes you gotta wonder if you're going 9 for 9.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Are you pushing? Are you sandbagging it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you leaving kilos behind?
Yeah. It's an interesting one for sure. And then it's funny, I've noticed just in watching some of the international meets recently, like used to be like and Team Canada does this, and I'm kind of in agreement, so I'm not disputing the approach, but like if you miss a lift, you repeat the weight. Like there's just no decision, you just repeat the weight. But like at the world level now, like people are missing lifts and they're going up, right? Because they know if they don't, it's game over. Like you're there to win, and you just got to be bold. So that seems to have crept into the conversation, which does make things exciting, for a spectator. A little harrowing for a coach and lifter, maybe, if you miss something on a technicality or even kind of on strength, and you gotta amp it up and get 5 kilos more to stay in the race.
Well, I mean, especially now, like with Sheffield becoming as big and as popular as it is, you have so many people. Like with Sheffield being Sheffield, there's almost more money in the sport now than there ever has been.
Yeah,
And I think that's what a lot of people's mind is on now. It's like getting that Sheffield invite.
Yeah.
But I also have the gripe with Sheffield that it's affecting world level events in other ways.
Yeah.
Because lifters aren't really pushing themselves that hard.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to push the total too far. Because the further they push the total, the harder they're making Sheffield for themselves.
Yeah, that's right. You look at it like in a different way, like Tiffany Chapon at World Games added 15 kilos to the world record, but she competed like about 100 grams over the weight limit, just because the format of World Games kind of allows for that, because she wanted to save it for Sheffield. So, and there's some lifters who are just like, don't care. They're like going all out on that day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift tomorrow, so I'm just going to push as hard as I can. That doesn't seem to affect them, but yeah, there's no question that at the highest level, Sheffield has affected how the World Championships unfold, for sure. Austin Perkins taking 5 attempts to win Worlds, right? Clearly he could have blown up the record if he wanted to, but just took the 5 attempts, which was, a lot of people didn't like that. Actually thought it was a bit disrespectful to the sport, which I can kind of see that angle on as well. Maybe just end up at the same total, but take 8 or 9 attempts. Maybe passing your last deadlift if you don't need it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a weird middle ground. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Sheffield. I look forward to watching it every year.
Yeah.
But there's definitely is. You can definitely see some effects it has had on the sport as a whole.
Yeah, it's funny. I will confess that I watched 23 Sheffield on the weekend. I did. I watched it back. Not all the benches. Sometimes I've been known to fast forward during bench, but I was watching it, and I forgot how. I knew how entertaining it was, but there were some smaller battles on that first Sheffield that I'd kind of forgotten about, like how close Noemi Albert was to. The New Zealand lifter. Evie Corrigan.
Evie, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot she was she didn't even come close on her final deadlift, but she was hanging with her the whole meet, and how good Jesus was, and some of the other smaller battles there in the 105s even with Mikey D and Emil Norling. Yeah, so it's fun. And Aaron and I will do some of that stuff together, just to get back to that topic. We'll watch old meets and just watch them back for the entertainment value, and there's always something to be learned from it too, right?
We've done that a couple times at Kev's. We'll throw on just a world session that happened, or a recent session, or something along those lines. We'll throw something on to get to watch.
John Heck, Brett Gibbs from 2016 is a good one. Before John Heck went over to the dark side, that was a really entertaining session that you can find that on YouTube. And then you get some of the real old ones, like the 1994 Worlds, IPF Worlds. I think it was in South Africa, and Ed Cohn is at it, who was lifetime ban now because Ed clearly was supplementing in a not so approved way. But David Ricks was at that one, and he competed here at Masters Worlds. He's a legend, and just old VHS somehow made it onto YouTube. Yeah, somebody took the time to do it, so it was pretty cool. But the ones with commentary are always a little bit better to watch, of course. The more the newer meets are.
And that's what I really liked at Provincials this year. We had a live stream commentary at Provincials this year for people not watching.
Yeah, and they've started.
Or people not there, sorry.
They've started doing it at all the nationals as well. It's a volunteer position like the others. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Rob King. Rob does a good job of that, and I think he really enjoys doing it. So hopefully he'll be kicking around in March and be willing to do some sessions, because I think he does a good job. Obviously knows the sport really well, and knows that he'll know a lot of the lifters too, of course, with it being here in town. But they did it in Summerside, and there was some commentary in 22 when Nationals was here. So when you're watching at a either watching it back or watching it from a distance. Like, it just makes it so much more entertaining to hear somebody like kind of guide you along through it. For sure. It's good.
It's real nice. I like if there's something going on and I just have to throw it on in the background while I'm like at work. Commentary is always also nice because it's like, all right, I can't watch this entire session right now, but I want to see friends lift and stuff, so it's nice to be able to have commentary on the stream. So it's like, all right, well, next up is such and such. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it is good for sure. Yeah.
I got a question for you regarding training.
Yeah. Fire away, man.
And I've only ever known one other person to do it.
Oh.
And it's Ashton Rushka.
I don't know what we have in common, but anyway, we might have something. You're about to tell me.
Glasses off as you go out.
Oh, yeah.
What's the reasoning behind?
I'm not wearing them now, but I do need reading glasses, and with phones and hands and all that, I wear them a lot. But I don't like lifting with them on. I just don't like something on my face. Sometimes they'll like droop on your nose and all that. So, yeah, and so I use cheap reading glasses because you've called me out on. I'll
throw them right across the gym.
Sometimes I'll heave them across the room if I'm fired up. But no glasses, definitely not. Don't need to see.
It makes a little more sense now knowing that they're reading glasses.
Yeah, they're not.
I always was under the presumption they were prescription.
No, they're just the signals of me being old enough to need reading glasses. But I do need a small, like a light prescription for driving at night and stuff that I'll wear sometimes. But my vision's just really reading. So that's why I can.
But I do agree. There's nothing worse than going out and setting up a squat and glasses like halfway down the nose.
Halfway down your face, and
or lying on a bench somewhere where it's humid and then glasses are just steaming up. You can't see anything. Now, granted, you don't need to see anything, but it's like...
Yeah. And the only thing is, it's funny because when I'm spotting and loading, I do have to wear them. Because I can't see the numbers on the rack to know. That's truth, because I hate it because you're like a little bit sweaty and they droop a lot and they totally get on my nerves, but I can't do it. And if there's Lord help me, if there's a screen, then I'm totally out.
Game over.
My glasses, So if I'm doing a platform manager role and trying to keep it all together, glasses are a must. Because I won't be able to see the numbers on the rack. I'm ashamed to admit, but there we have it. We press on in spite of the odds. Yeah.
If you could pick a walkout song for your last deadlift, like you can choose what song comes on to walk out your last deadlift to.
Yeah.
What would you pick?
It would have to be partway through the song, and it's a song probably not a lot of people know. Aaron would know it. It's by a band Soulfly, and it's Jump to Fuck Up, all one word, and pretty heavy, and that'll get me fired up every time. Probably cliche, close second is Enter Sandman is a big one for me too, and then probably third, anything by Motorhead. I listen to a lot of Motorhead when I train, and usually, you probably noticed I do train. I'll lift with other people, but on balance, I train by myself more often than not. And I've got headphones in the whole time, and usually I'm cranking something pretty heavy metal is what I'll listen to almost exclusively while I'm lifting. I don't listen to it when I'm not lifting so much, but when I'm in the gym, that's the way to go. Yeah, old school thrash. Motorhead's a big one for me, right? Well, for a while now, yeah.
God, it would always be... There's always that thought, and it would just be so nice to be able to have that just for, a last deadlift. But, the thing you got to deal with, getting everybody's song request.
Yeah,
and,
they do it in some untested meets. I've seen that where they, and it's actually, more of a walkout. They've got, they arrange the third attempts in a different way, so they walk out. And I don't know if that flourish would work for me. I just...
Just
ready
want
to
the
go.
song.
But the tune 100%. The extra friggin' around of walking out, and making a show of it, not so much.
But it's so funny because I feel like even if I had it there, I wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
when you think about the fact of actually a last deadlift on a platform,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would honestly hear it.
Yeah. It's funny because I've more recently, in the last few meets, I don't have my headphones in as much. Yeah, I just, some people have them in, like, and this famous shot, right? Your coach, like, literally plucks them out of your ears for you. I'm usually not with those. I've usually got Aaron screaming at me most times, and usually getting myself hyped up. But more often than not, I won't have them in. But when I'm training, almost
Well,
have them
that's
in. Yeah, so.
that's actually why I came out for my last squat at Provincials without glasses on, because just the way it ended up falling when because Dryden was handling me, when he grabbed my headphones, the earpiece caught on the earpiece of my glasses.
I didn't notice that.
And they came off, and
aggressive handler.
And he was like, "Oh, glasses." I was like, "Nope."
No, I'm not stopping right now. Yeah, don't even try to.
I don't need it. By the end of a last squat, I mean, everything's black dots anyway. I'm not seeing a whole lot by the time
Yeah, absolutely.
By the time I get to the top.
Yeah, so Dryden literally assaulted you as you were leaving.
Yeah.
Out there. Yeah. He's a nice guy, but I didn't know he had that in him.
He got violent when it came to that last attempt.
Yeah, not afraid to resort to violence. Yeah, if there's ever a situation, though, third attempts are where it's at.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Yeah. Yeah. What question for you, man? So I was listening to, I take in a lot of powerlifting content all the time, and I was listening to some of the guys that live in UK really complaining about the state of drug testing and stuff in the UK, and that there's not enough for IPF affiliates. What's your take on that? You know much thinking about it, or just curious?
I don't know. It's weird, and I guess because I haven't been much outside of the local scene.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like it's. I mean, we had Metro, and Wada didn't even show up.
Yeah.
To Metro, and it's I don't know. I feel like, especially when there's talks of records being attempted, and because a lot of people know before a meet's coming up what's planned.
Yeah.
Murmurings of all right, such and such is probably gonna go for this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I definitely feel like there could be more.
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Especially around our level.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's not. You'd expect there to be more at Easterns and stuff than there actually is.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never been, and my goal is to actually get tested someday, to be good enough to be considered for a test. But that's kind of a joke, but half serious too. But yeah, it feels like there maybe could be more at local meets. You're almost guaranteed not to get looked at a local meet. Provincials this year there was a couple, which was kind of okay. It's like a deterrent, right? It's not so much that you're going to test every person that walks up, but it's nice to know that people who might not be on the right side of things don't feel like they can go up and get away with
because
it.
I think
take away. You look at Provincials 23, Hanrahan. He won that day.
Yep.
And he
completely got robbed.
He completely got robbed.
He got his medal in the mail.
Yeah.
Versus actually getting off there.
I felt for him because he had such a good day, and anyway, I'm not gonna disparage the guy who got caught that day. It was kind of funny for how many things he got popped for. It's kind of humorous.
I was just saying, I think that was a CPU record.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? And you're taking it away from someone who is following the rules, right? Most likely. Noting that they don't test everybody, but
I think it should just be done more at the local level. Yeah. Just because it prevents people then from creeping all the way up to the national levels where they've been on gear this whole time.
Yeah.
But also just with how gym culture is nowadays, just on the internet.
Yeah.
It's just steroid use and PED use is just becoming a pandemic now and amongst young people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying juniors are doing them, but there's when your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed is just all these people and all the stuff they're taking and all these enhanced bodybuilders, and you're bouncing between the two.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's available. It's around, right? So, Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of the things where, I mean, that was one of the big things where USAPL broke away from the IPF, is they were kind of advocating for more testing, but it wasn't going to be WADA level testing. You know, so it was going to be like a lesser of a test, but like more of them, which is like maybe just a cursory test where if you're really not doing anything to prevent yourself from being caught, like which people can do, I suppose, right, with all sorts of other drugs you can take to mask things and whatnot. But this was like to take out like the base level person who's really just hoping that they don't have to pee in a cup that day. And they'll get away with it if they do, or if they don't have to pee, and then they won't get away with it if they have to get tested. They're obviously out. So it's like you can call that type of person out, right? But yeah.
And now, from what I've heard, there's talks of rolling out blood testing to national athlete pools and stuff as well. Yeah.
I mean, that's important for sure. That your world championships and all that is well tested, and you're reducing or eliminating the possibility that somebody can be competing not clean. But more at the local level would probably be good. I think with gym culture being what it is, it's probably happening, I'm betting. And I'm not picking on any one person at all. I can't even think of anybody who I would comes to mind even, but I'm just betting that and it has happened in some other provinces too. Happened here in provincials. This guy, a Masters guy, got popped from Worlds 2 years ago, I think. A Canadian guy, and people are at it, which is disappointing.
There was a guy years ago, I can't remember his name, but he turned around and he blamed a supplement company for it. He popped and blamed Canada Protein for it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think the pre-workout one is a little more understandable, but people take a pre-workout and it's got some kind of stimulant in it that's not allowed. But I mean, you need to be careful in what you're taking.
That one, that one is a slippery slope, because it's like, most of this stuff is all bottled in the same factories. Other stuff, cross-contamination happens. And it's like, it might not have been on the ingredient list, but it shows up. But also, I think to that, the illness does still fall on the lifter.
Yeah, it does.
As a whole, just not even a supplement, not even a pre-workout, you should know
what you're putting in your body. Yeah, for sure. Like if you're sure not to take cold medicine for a couple days before your meet, because you don't want that to be a thing that trips you up, then you better be careful with your pre-workout and all that too. So I totally agree.
Anything can happen. Any supplements.
Yeah, you look, Big Ray Williams. He got popped for that at PA Nationals this year. Said he didn't borrow because I guess you can't give it back, but somebody gave him some pre-workout and it wasn't the right one. So obviously there was one more lifter who didn't get tested that day. It was probably
it was on something.
Yeah, at least one more. Yeah.
Yeah, if he borrowed it off of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming
somebody else has it.
I'm just sure that person took it too. But yeah, it's interesting, and I don't know much about it, but I've been exposed to some conversations just through involvement with the NLPA and being at nationals and some of the CPU or CanPL now meetings. And it's expensive, the whole structure of how expensive it is to deliver this WADA level testing is probably a bit of the issue, because it costs the meets so much money, and they don't even get guaranteed. They're not even we'll test 5 people. It's we just decide, because it's random, right? So it's it's a bit funky. It's they almost need to make it cheaper somehow, or maybe somehow there's government support for that, but that's got issues too. But it's interesting, because if your base levels of the sport aren't able to be kept clean, then the higher levels, it'll eventually trickle there somehow, right? It'll eventually become an issue at the higher level.
They'll eventually get into, and sure, they'll get to a nationals and get popped or something.
Yeah.
But it's very likely that you end up again in a situation like Chris, where they don't get popped till after the meet, and somebody just lost they get their national title after, but you don't get to go up at nationals and get that medal.
Get the medal that you deserve to get. Yeah. Especially if you win. Especially if it's a gold.
If you come silver.
Yeah.
And then find out a month and a half later that you actually got gold.
Yeah, exactly. That hasn't happened to me a whole lot. I've come second a few times to Jeff particularly, but like, yeah, it's you'd hate for that moment to be taken away because it is cool. I mean, even if, like I mentioned, 24 when I was lucky enough to get one while he wasn't there, like that was still a pretty cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
I would be pissed off if that happened to me. Like
absolutely,
the same thing that happened to Chris, and Shirley has happened to other people too. Yeah, it's interesting. It's always going to be an issue around strength sports for sure, but yeah, it's too bad though sometimes that it has to be because it just takes away from a lot of people's hard work, right? The people who are.
And in a perfect world, we wouldn't need drug testing because people who were on anything would go compete in tested leagues.
Yeah. There's always somebody who thinks they can game the system though. Yeah.
So that's all it comes down to. It's like, oh well, I'm not good enough to compete in the tested leagues or the untested leagues.
Yeah. Well,
so I can sneak by in the untested leagues.
I mean, I think you see that at untested. Like when I first started powerlifting and like following it on Instagram and stuff, like untested was kind of big, and that was a lot of the content was there, but like they just don't get the same quality of athletes right now. It doesn't seem like as the tested IPF side, as witnessed by or evidenced, I should say, by the totals that IPF lifters are pulling up that are beating a lot of untested people.
Like
right?
Look at Jesus, look at Agatha.
Yeah, exactly.
Like breaking these records that are in untested leagues.
Yeah, she's kind of getting. Speaking of, Shiko's kind of getting the shaft a little bit from the Polish Federation now. Hey, they suspended her membership or her license or whatever for the Polish Federation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I haven't heard much about it, but they were trying to. I don't remember, so I'll botch it. But basically, there was something they were trying to get her to do, and she said she wouldn't do it. So they said, "Well, we'll suspend you." And so she was supposed to be at World Games and didn't show. And I think the suspension might carry through to
Sheffield?
Euros, to Sheffield for sure, and maybe even to Euros, which is after Sheffield.
Which could potentially put her out of a second Sheffield.
Yeah. I mean, if she gets back for Worlds, I'm sure she'll come back probably twice as fired up and absolutely obliterate everybody on the female side.
As she's doing anyway.
Yeah, but there's something going on there with the Fed where she can't lift. And it's interesting too. Rondell Hunt is a 120 who's from Trinidad, Tobago, who hasn't been able to lift because of all sorts of political
Federation stuff.
stuff. Yeah, and he's lifting in SBD Austin, one of those sort of second tier meets. Yeah. Jess Bittner's lifting in the same one, I think.
Yeah,
so it should be pretty entertaining.
Go through Instagram the other day.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Those are fun too because I mean, there's especially in the U.S. there's so many good lifters like at the open, in the open, and like you could make a fantastic meet with the people who basically couldn't go to Worlds, and it's like top tier folks.
Well,
right?
I was sat back and I was like, because all I saw was I completely forgot SBD Austin was coming up, so they were posting like the wild cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I seen wild card confirmed Rondell Hunt, and I was like, wait, what? Because my brain immediately jumped to it being for Sheffield wild cards, and I was like, what happened here? How is this happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was for SBD Austin.
Yeah, that's right. I got caught by the same one because I saw wild card confirmed. I'm like, the Sheffield wild cards aren't coming out yet, I don't think. But I think Russ is going to get in there for the guys. I mean, it seems impossible that he couldn't. On the women's side, I don't really know, to be honest. I need to think about that one a little bit more. But it'll be fun. And this 2026 is a 2 Sheffield year, right? Because it's one in, I think it's February, early Feb, and then they're having another one in November, and it's going to be in November then from now on. So 2 Sheffields, 1 calendar year.
I mean, hey, we did 2 nationals.
Yeah. All the calendars are,
That led to so much confusion.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. I did feel for Bryce Krawchuk a little bit when he lost out. I mean, Lucas just played the game as it was laid out in front of him, not knocking that at all. And Lucas, I've heard him say the same thing, so I know he feels that way. But like to not have a head-to-head matchup for Worlds is like just such a weird scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad that'll be eliminated, because the head-to-head battles are so much fun, and that's the way a sport's meant to be played.
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that just led to so much confusion when that whole shift over happened, where they had these nationals won't count for anything.
Yeah,
so why?
Hey, that's the one I won. Didn't count for anything, but yeah. So no world spots were determined on that nationals or anything like that. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of a dud in that way, but it was necessary for them to get the schedules all back in line. Like, it's hard to do when all the meets are annual, right?
Yeah. Overall, it worked out better in the long run. It's like you said, it let everything get to a more reasonable schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But that was, COVID really is what mucked all that up. It was just everybody was trying to react to a weird and bad situation, so no one's fault. But
trying to reposition timelines for something that you didn't know how long it was going to take.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, so of the 3 main lifts, squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, this is easy. It's easy for me. So marry squat. It's my best lift. Kill bench is my shittiest lift, and fuck deadlift.
That seems to be like that or switching. Bench seems to be the one that consistently gets the axe.
Yeah, if I was a big bencher, I would never say that, but I'm not. So I'll freely admit it. Trying to be, but it's been a challenge. Haven't had a bench PR since 2022, so hopefully 2026 will be a magic year. It'll be almost 4 years, so we'll see.
And if you could pick, like, just a dream crew to lift with, just for a session, but you can't pick any of your regular lifting.
Oh, okay,
crew.
yeah, okay. Like any lifter.
Any lifter.
Yeah, any lifter. Wow, let's see who. I think I would like to lift with Hack. I would like to lift with Leah Babwell. She was, I really like her and how open, I like her personality, and she's so strong. She's a teammate, she's a strength guys athlete as well. So I've always been a big fan of hers. I would say, the only for the gonzo element of it, I would like to lift alongside Jesus as well, because the size difference between the two of us would be outlandish. But that'd probably be the 3. That 4 would be plenty, and that'd be a bit of a mixed bag, two IPF and one untested person. But that'd be my crew, I think. I was trying to think of somebody who's really, really hyped, but I don't know if I need another person to be really, really hyped, because I can get there. I can get there all on my own. Yeah. So. Yeah. Who's yours?
John Hack is also up there in mine.
Yeah.
Jonathan Keiko.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
I just really like, from what it's and from how he's like shown himself like online, I just really like Keiko's personality.
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like a chill guy.
Seems like a pretty genuine dude. The chill is what would trip me up on him. And I was actually funny because I watched. I know I'm interrupting you here, but I watched 23 Sheffield, like I mentioned.
Oh my God!
Leah gets fired up, so I dig that about her too. So you got the 2 Johns, Keiko Hack.
Apparently, I just got a thing for lifting with Johns, because between you and Mercer as well.
I highly recommend it. Yeah.
And then let's see, a last one. I think Reagan Sterdakis.
He is a massive dude. Yeah.
Because I don't believe he's a 105.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You see, like some of the. So I'll pick John Hack. I still follow him on Instagram, of course, and you see, like, he's getting ready for a meet, some untested meet, whatever. And as he's cutting with the 24-hour weigh-in, he'll do like a physique update, and he's like he's peeled. And like there's there's nothing on him. And he's like, I'm 90 kilograms. And I'm like, he's like, 6 or 7 pounds lighter than me. And he's giant. Like, and he's not even a much different height. Like, what's he made out of? Like, what's this guy's bones made out of? Feathers? Like, how the hell does somebody that big turn out to be 90 kilos? Anyway, it's wild. I mean, no water in the system definitely helps, but
it's
Jesus,
like,
Murphy.
I'd like to meet some of these high-level powerlifters just because, again, you see, like, how massive some of them are.
Yeah.
And it's like, in order for you to be that weight, you have to be, like, what, 4 foot tall? Like...
They were...
I look at Russ and I'm like, there's no way you're any more than like 5.5 feet tall.
I was listening to the Red Plates. Great shout out, great podcast, by the way. The boys are really funny.
I love their stuff.
They were, it's really good. And this was their World Games recap, but they were talking about, they just got talking bullshitting about various things. They were talking about Russ, and like, he's definitely in lifts. He looks way shorter on the platform than he does in real life, because they were asking... Kyle Graham lifted against him at NAPFs, and he wasn't saying too much. But Russ is massive. Like I don't know how tall the guy is, but he's obviously he's not very tall. But as it relates to normal population, but what a massive dude! Like, yeah, it's incredible.
I'm not a fan of him, but I will give him credit. To fly to the complete wrong country and then turn around and have the performance he had is impressive.
Yes, someone I work with who will never see this actually flew to an incorrect San Jose in the same fashion. Shout out Sam if you ever see this. He told me about it. He confessed. He went to San Jose, USA instead of San Jose, Costa Rica.
There was so many jokes of just Russ being in the complete wrong country.
Yeah. He took that one like a champ. That was a rough one. And he still came out and performed too. Still got the world record. Like, I just had to travel for work recently, and I had to go overseas. And I used the Apple Watch to monitor my recovery and a few things like that. And when I travel, all that stuff goes in the tank. Like, I was, usually it's all good, like my rest and sleep and recovery is all pretty decent. And as soon as I traveled, no other bad thing happening.
Just travel.
Just completely tanked it. You can see it in the little graphs that they show you and that. I mean, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I mean, if I ever get the chance again to go, not again, but to go internationally for a Worlds meet, which I definitely want to do at some point. Maybe next year, we'll see. The travel part of it is I'll definitely have to manage, because I definitely don't feel great after a long haul. I mean, going to somewhere close like Halifax, or even maybe as far as Ontario, but longer than that, you're gonna feel
going across the pond.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's your name on a sign.
Yeah, that's my daughter actually. Yeah, she's running for council now, so she is heavy into the campaign.
So how do you find, because you said you got to travel and stuff for work, how do you find work as a whole affects your training, or does it?
I'm really lucky, so I got good flexibility. I'm routine, so I still I don't show up to work 10 o'clock in the morning or leave in the middle of the day or anything, but I do fit in my training in the mornings most times, so I'm a morning guy most days, and get a good amount of flexibility, so I can start at 9 and just sort of work through my day and still manage to leave by 4:30 or 5. I got some evening stuff in that. And when I've traveled, most times I've been lucky enough to figure out a gym situation and have that work out. So leading up to, it would be a year ago, leading up to Summerside Nationals, I was actually away. So that was the second week in September, and I was away right around now. I was in Norway, and I found a place where they had all Lico kits. It was fabulous. It's better than I usually train. And did some of my last heavy deadlifts while I was away and all that. So it was interesting. It's not too bad. I don't have to do it enough where it really impacts.
Does it make a huge
difference?
No,
not a huge difference. But I was just away. I had to be in Africa actually for work, and I didn't really get to train. I did some workouts, just a quick pump and some dumbbells and stuff, but there's just no equipment to be able to train with. So I had about 10 days. Well, I wouldn't say 10 days off. Like I moved on most days, not every single one, but yeah. But that usually doesn't affect me too much. Just getting to bed early enough is a bit of a challenge sometimes because I get up around 5 to train. Try to be at the gym between 6 and 6:30 so I can get done before work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So getting enough sleep sometimes is a bit of a challenge, but work is very flexible and they accommodate. They know what I like to do and are very accommodating. Like for me, traveling for meets and all that, I've never had any issues. So it's all right.
It's kind of a more so as long as you're getting the work done.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's not too bad. And I know it must be tough for you if you got like on-call schedules and.
Yeah, our on-call isn't too bad though. There's 6 of us on an on-call rotation, so it's only once every 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it's for a week?
For a full week.
Yeah.
I haven't had it overly impact me terribly yet. There's no wood to knock on. Actually, you know what? I'm on call Labor Day weekend. That's a holiday. I'm A-okay with them calling me as much as they want because they have to pay out plenty of overtime if they want to call me that.
So it's lucrative.
Nothing
wrong with that.
I haven't had anything fall super bad. There's been a couple times, like, I actually did get, my first pec injury came because of on-call. I went out and I took a call in the car, and I guess I just cooled down more than I thought I did. And I came back under the bench and tweaked something in my pec.
Yeah.
That was when it was on my right side.
Yeah.
But other than that, it hasn't been bad. I've had a couple sessions I've had to cut short, and I'm just like, all right, well.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
you just try and make up for it and bang out extra accessories and stuff.
Yeah, we're not pros by any stretch.
No, not at all.
No. So, but if you plan for it and know what you're planning around, like even if it's on call or if you know you got to travel, like you can make it work. Like, coach can help with programming if that's the case and like setting you up. Okay, if you only have, it's happened with us and Patrick's been really good for this. Like, okay, you only have 2 days this week because of your travel, so this is what I want you to do on those 2 days, right? So it gives you something clear and yeah. So you can definitely work around it.
Yeah, and just
not missing sessions and all that is
reaching out to a coach because something happened. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I got called. I can't do a session today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut something through the week.
Yeah.
What day do you want me to cut? Like, what's your thoughts on what I should get rid of?
Yeah.
And like with meat wise, like last time I was on call toward a meet, I got so lucky because I went on call during my taper.
Oh yeah.
I went on call Friday.
Yeah.
And I competed the following Saturday.
Yeah.
So my entire taper week I was on call. So
that's right. So your sessions.
I had one session that got messed up, but I mean, like I was only going up to like 150 kilo squat. It's like, is it really a mess up?
Yeah, it doesn't take too long then. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, you taper week, you're only pretty much going in so you don't seize off anyway.
Keep everything moving. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's all I had. I don't know if you got anything else you want to ask.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty good chat. I was just snuck a peek of a watch. It's been a couple hours. That was fun.
It's good on time.
Love talking lifting. I could do it forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see you again. Because like you said, you've been training a lot in the morning, so I haven't even seen you as much. And
Once we get probably a little more into the fall, I think the Saturdays here are going to come back. So we'll get some squat sessions in, man.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, that's my squat day. SPD sometimes, but we'll see. We're not doing any SPDs right now because we're so far out from the next meet. So, anyways, man, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, man.
Have a good one.
Good luck with whatever training you got coming up.
Yeah, you too, brother. Stay healthy.